Hi, welcome to Hyde Science. In this episode, we're going to be discussing how to solve a half-life problem. Look at this problem here. Iodine 131 is a radioactive isotope with a half-life of 8 days. How much of a 40-gram substance sample would remain after 24 days? All right. So we're going to use my little table here we got in order to solve this. The table's good for solving almost everything dealing with half-life. If you don't have the skill to use the logarithmic function of half-life. All right, so let's start here, and first let's figure out how long this half-life is. We have a number after iodine, iodine 131. And a very common mistake I see is you want to use that number. We are not going to use that number. This is an isotope. This is an atomic mass of the isotope, not the mass or the initial amount. It's like the last name, like I'm Coach Hyde, this is iodine 131. If we continue reading, we see that it's a radioactive isotope, as we just discussed, with a half-life. The half-life is 8 days. So over here, we always start 0, 0 because nothing happens at the beginning. One half-life is 8 days. We continue going through our problem here. It says how much of a 40-gram sample. So here is our initial amount. So we put this here. 40-gram sample will remain after 24 days. So now we're going to work through our table and continue until our time gets to 24 days. So after one half-life, we know we only have half remaining. So we divide 40 by 2. After one half-life, we're down to 20 grams. If we go into another half-life, 2. Now there's been a total time of 16 days. Now there is 10 grams remaining. Well, we hadn't got to 24 days yet, so we'll keep going. We'll do another half-life. So 8, 16, 24 days. That's what we're looking for, right? Can't forget to divide by 2 over here. And there's 5 grams remaining. So that will be our answer to that. We can use this chart in other situations as well. Sometimes it will ask you for percent. You'll always start with 100%. And then you just half each time like we did with the amount. After one half-life, there'll be 50%. After 2 half-lives, 25%. After 3 half-lives, 12.5%. 4, 6.25. Then 3.125, so forth and so on. The only other way it could probably ask you to do is to figure out a fraction. Our fraction for our original amount will be 1 over 1. The key to figuring out half-life of a fraction, when you take half of a fraction, double the denominator. So half of 1 over 1 is 1/2. Half of 1/2, I double the denominator, is a 4. Then a 16. Then a 32nd. And a 64, and a 128, so forth and so on. So using this graph will help you get to solve any type of half-life problem you come across at this level. All right, thanks for joining us. Catch you next time.